Welcome everybody to the Garage Shop College Cup Series here at the Daytona International Speedway. Oh boy, is it going to be a great race for us tonight. It's got a good old track temp of 73 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to be your main play-by-play, Jordan Brooks. Joining me today in the booth is Josh Crane. And Josh, what a day do we have here for racing?
Yeah, what a great night. We've got the classic Gen 4 cars that we've seen in this Garage Shop series all season long. This is race 3 of 12, so we've got a couple races, Auto Club and Rockingham, in fact, under our belt, and where else to go next, Jordan? But the slightly bumpy Daytona Superspeedway, and we are on the 2008 variant tonight. So again, we continue our fun theme here of turning the clock back just a little bit. And yeah, this is going to be fun. We've seen these cars bouncing around, and we will observe pretty quickly that there is really not much bump drafting at all with these cars. The way that the nose is lower than the rear bumper, that's going to be a theme for these drivers as well. So, Jordan, it's going to be a race of patience all night. 80 laps here at this one, but yeah, not too hot. There should be a lot of action, and drivers are going to have the ability to make a little bit more aggressive decisions tonight.
Yeah, and you mentioned that bump drafting difficulty. We were noticing in practice just every attempt essentially ending in a wreck. So these drivers have noted that down. Bump drafting, you have to be so precise that it's almost not worth doing unless it's an absolute last resort here for these guys. So we'll be on the eye, we'll keeping an eye out for that, because that'll be a good way to bring out a couple of yellow flags here tonight. It is the Daytona race. It is very bumpy, this 08 track, so it would not be a surprise to see a couple of cautions as we get our qualifying underway here. Zachary DeWale out of that St. Clair College car putting in a pretty good lap, the 48.489, just out of his teammate Robbie Vrabel Jr. as everybody starts putting in their first lap times here.
Yeah, lap time's starting to come down the board, and we're going to see a lot of those names jump up and down in that case. But one newcomer, Baruch College here, he's trying to get that race done. Edward Sanchez on board, and also streaming on YouTube, we think, as well. His point of view to see on these drivers, and you can see right here, he is locked in and ready to represent that Baruch College machine. That's Edward Sanchez behind the wheel of that one. We will see where he comes across the line, and Edward Sanchez jumping up to that 9th position, Jordan. So straight away making the presence felt there on the race boards.
Immediately jumping up into the top 10. Edwin Onofre putting it into 6th, bumping him down one more position here. But that Baruch College car looking nice out there in that nice blue livery they've got for their driver. You see Edwin Onofre out of UNT North Texas. He's been quick all season long. He's one to keep an eye out as we continue this season. Here with race number 3, so we look to have a St. Clair College lockout in the front row here. Edwin Onofre on his second lap, looking to put an end to that. He swings out of 3 and 4, I believe, into the tri-oval across the line, and no, not able to break them up at the front. Does jump up to P6, stays there, at least.
Yeah, he does, and hopping on board now as we come down. Kind of the last minute of qualifying, and not sure that was the line. Maybe this is an in lap for the Binghamton University machine. Alex Hallinar, the Legends car driver, joining us for an evening at Daytona. And we know, Jordan, that yeah, these super speedway races do tend to bring out these drivers who may be busy with their schedules, but everybody can make time for these super speedway races.
Yeah, it's a very different environment for Alex Hallinar here today. Quite different in terms of track length from those Legends cars. We see Jason Willott out on his lap. You can see the car just slamming its way around the corner here. Just so bumpy on this track out of 3 and 4.
It is very bumpy on this track, and you can see flying down the back stretch. This is going to be where drivers try and pull out, make a few moves. There's maybe a little bit less confidence in the corner as these drivers are not in the next-gen car that we typically see, and they'll have to be working their way around the corners and making sure that they don't pull out into that outside wall or drop down on that apron. We know for a fact that that apron is tricky, but looks like that didn't quite get the lap in there, but that will conclude our qualifying results. And Jordan, quickly we have the ability here to run through the grid from the Garage Shop College Cup Series, and you're right, that front row is all St. Clair College. Zach DeWale and Robbie Vrabel Jr. in that instance there. University of Virginia going to be third place with Thomas Toomey and Garrett Vitton, the Arizona State Sun Devil. He will find himself in fourth place for this one. Jake Cummings from Wingate University will be in fifth position, and starting sixth will be Edwin Onofre from the University of North Texas. Clemson Tiger Andrew Williams will roll off in seventh position, and the Ohio State Buckeye Matthew Morton will start at eighth. Ninth position going to be Clint Halterman from the North Carolina at Charlotte, and Baruch College, Edward Sanchez rode on him with a little bit, will finish out the top 10 here to start this one. Northeast State Technical College, Kent Hundley there in P11, and Drexel University's Jason Willott, the winner last time we came to Daytona. He will be in 12th position. North Carolina State's Matt Nordberg and the Wolfpack going to be in 13th position. 14th going to go to Connor Levy, the second Sun Devil in the field. Drexel University also in P15 through Timothy Wilms, and Clemson University in 16th position, Nick Stockner. Dylan Godinez is going to roll off in 17th position, and 49er Esports back at it again with Spencer Brown in the 18th position. Brad Daniels and Robert Morris University going to be in 18th, and the ETSU, East Tennessee State University Buccaneer Lee Nutter, he's going to be in 20th position. Robert Morris University is going to be putting Tyler Klingensmith, that 65 machine. He will be in the 21st position in that distinctive cow paint scheme, and the 22nd position will be Alex Hallinar, Binghamton University. Christian Hill from Mount St. Mary's in 23rd, and 24th position will go to Ryan Wilson, Minnesota State, in the Mankato campus for that driver. Finally, Clemson University's Andrew Burrell gonna roll off 25th, and that, Jordan, will conclude the grid for these drivers. And back up at the front, a lot of these drivers are getting ready to go, and you can see right there Zach DeWale. He is focused right now, locked in behind that pace car.
Yeah, and we notice he's back in the classic St. Clair College red for this evening. He's been running a blue car for the past couple of races, switched it back to that classic red and black paint scheme. But he is right next to his teammate Robbie Vrabel Jr., who we know can be very, very quick in the next gen cars. Haven't quite seen that speed here in these Gen 4s, so he'll be looking to use this good starting position and a little bit of teamwork, I'd expect, here at the start of this race.
Yeah, I bet so. These drivers coming up to the front right now, and yeah, you mentioned it. Robbie Vrabel Jr., the second St. Clair car, going to be his outside to start this one. And then check that out. Garrett Vitton not far behind, and also the Virginia Cavalier, Thomas Toomey, and actually all top four of those drivers, no stranger to the eNASCAR scene as well. So a lot of pace up at the front. In fact, I see Jake Cummings and Edwin Onofre, who we could also put in that group, Jordan. But right now we are coming to the green flag, and the Griffins will lead the way. That's the 02 machine, and Zach DeWale brings us up to speed through the gears at this restrictor plate track.
Yeah, as we saw, Jack got such a good jump coming right up into that trial restart zone, getting ahead of his teammate here. The St. Clair cars lead the pack around 1 and 2. The top four file single file here out of turn 2, down the back straight for the first time. First of 80 here at Daytona.
Yeah, long way to go for these drivers and 900 horsepower to get there to their destination. You can see the Arizona State Sun Devils driving up along the inside. That's Garrett Vitton, that 42 machine. He's trying to make the move to get around North Texas. And oh, not quite clear is that 166. Big move back down to the bottom, so it's going to be the bottom line by default right now for the Virginia Cavaliers. That was Thomas Toomey trying to clear himself, but not quite done. And look at this, Jordan. This is what we're going to see all night. How are these drivers going to handle catching those top 2 cars like that? This is not going to be a night of tandem drafting. This is definitely going to be a night where these drivers are going to have to come out in numbers. And again, Virginia trying to play the field.
Yeah, Thomas Toomey seems to be really fighting those bumps out of the corners here. He's really pushing to try and catch up to these St. Clair teammates. Just working together so well here up front. You see just how bumpy it is throughout the corners. Something these drivers will be battling all night long. Toomey has seemed to catch up to the back of these St. Clair cars. Just seem not able to get the nose alongside.
Yeah, not much to do alongside riding on board. We can see, just how bumpy it is for these cars outright, but these cars are jumping around, and you really would like to follow your friends through whatever mayhem ensues and run some clean laps here. But we can see it is really hard to follow, as we can see 2 of our best drivers here on our CiL evenings. Jordan, man, they're just trying to keep that thing about a half car width off the yellow line, it looks like.
Yeah, just saying, just above that yellow line down the straights. No need to bring it all the way out to the walls if you're flat all the way through for the most part. So, if you keep it flat, no need to run it all the way out wide. He's kept it green now through the first 4 of 80 laps. We have a couple drivers who's fallen off the back hill of this lead pack here up at the front, but we're still 2 by 2 behind these front 2 St. Clair cars here.
Yeah, and a couple drivers to watch as we take a moment to go through the field now. Actually, I take it back. Edwin Onofre is trying to make a move on that outside. That outside line is moving up, and what can happen there? The 26, that is Edward Sanchez from Baruch College. He's trying to make that work, and look at our Daytona 500 winner, the 76 car in Drexel University, up on that outside line, and suddenly, early in this one, Jordan, we've got a little race on our hands.
Yeah, the 2 lines working well together here. The outside line forming up as we the car exiting the pits there. Dylan Gonez. But yeah, these 2 lines, just that outside line formed up so quickly and just got such a good run on their leaders. So they go clear 2 lines, everybody fighting for a little bit of clean air, keep those engines nice and cool, but just roaring down that back straight. All of a sudden these 2 St. Clair cars have a little bit more strength.
They do, and I'll tell you who is doing an experiment right now is these 2 Sun Devil machines, that 42 and that 14 on your screen. Guarantee you they're on the radio saying high line, low line. How's that working for you? And these drivers are going to figure out what it takes to be in position at the end of this race to be in a good spot. But that's great. I don't think that you would try and jump in line with your teammate. Those drivers are happy to see which one of these transpires. And are we trying to make a 3rd line? I see that Binghamton car trying to look low, but no, I think just trying to put a little bit of air across that nose, and keeping these engines cool, Jordan, is going to be another theme tonight.
Yeah, as we see Edwin Onofre getting in front of Zachary DeWale there down the back straight, final official change of the lead just quickly there as they go down the back straight. Zachary getting it back through the corner though. These 2 lines, though, working well together. I would be surprised if that 3rd line formed up here so early in this race. We are so long to go. We are less than a 10th of the way through our race here tonight. So, drivers doing well. Here we go, a 3rd line, just as I say that, out of Baruch College. Edward Sanchez making that 3rd line, sending it through the middle on the Onofre, and that shaking up that outside line, but they're 3 wide for 2nd place. Tucked back in that 166 car. Zachary DeWale now clear all the way around through 3 and 4 here.
Yeah, and I don't know if that was totally voluntary, Jordan, as that 26 car kind of jumped down. I don't know if the 199, we know the 199 is a little bit patient sometimes, maybe more so than the rest of the field, and I don't know if he was ready for that, anticipating that, but nonetheless, yeah, that is Baruch College with a full head of steam on the outside, and he's getting hooked up right now with Arizona State University as well as Drexel University, and that is going to be a force on the outside even more so if the Legends driver Alex Hallinar and Binghamton can put some velocity into that outside line as well.
The St. Clair cars just holding station so far, just keeping it riding up the line. We are now 8 laps into our 80 laps, 1/10 of our way here at Daytona. We keep on rolling, no cautions yet. Everyone just keeping calm, knowing that there's a long way to go before our checkered flag flies. So we will. Everyone's just staying calm, finding their position. No need to get too impatient as of yet. You see the Drexel car taking over the outside there of Edward Sanchez on that outside line.
Yeah, Edward Sanchez continuing to work that outside, and as we view that, oh, trouble looked like for the the Tyler Klingensmith machine.
Oh,
Tyler Klingensmith and Robert Morris University, and we saw that one cooking right there. No fast repair for these drivers, but yeah, that was not what Robert Morris needed, and we can catch that. It looks like just somebody was maybe a bit caught out, and then somebody tried to stick a nose. We talked about it. It's really hard. 3 wide, you're buffeting around, you're jumping around in these cars. We'll see quickly, Jordan, if we can see what transpired here. This is going into the corner, and it looks like a little bit of a wall tap there for the 65, and then down into the 84. That's Spencer Brown, North Carolina at Charlotte, and then, yeah, a couple other cars collected. And really, really tough there. Not sure, what you are supposed to do if you're Spencer Brown in that one. Let's take another look in real time. If you're Spencer Brown, you're on board, and you see there's 3 lanes open here, and just a little bit outside. And oh man, he went low, and you don't want to go too low because he did have a car on his inside, but really not much to do there. And looks like that Red Bull car, I think he can get that probably patched up just enough to compete in this race. But yeah, not what all those drivers were looking for. But up at the front, we will see who comes down pit road. Will tires be in order here? It looks like maybe they will, Jordan.
There we go, yeah, as the DeWale and Vrabel of the St. Clair College cars leading this back down pit road. We see the Birmingham car not heading into the pits, taking it around, jumping, taking that track position here. Everybody changes tires. See who wins the race off of pit road here, as someone has spun farther down pit road there, exiting their pit lane or pit stop, as Arizona State will win the race off of pit road. Connor Levy in that 14 car beating the 2 St. Clair cars out. What a pit stop for Connor Levy and the Arizona State University car.
Yeah, and that's got to be a 2-tire stop there. And why not? We've seen 0 tires so far from the Binghamton car up on the top of your screen. And then the Arizona State Sun Devil continuing their scientific experiment early in this one. Connor Levy says, how are those 2 tires going to feel? Perhaps he can let us know shortly. But yeah, what a move right there. That was pretty nice from those 2 drivers. It should put them in a good position. The only thing I would pay attention to is on this restart, who can get going, any tire spin from that big green machine there in P1. He will be the control car coming to this one. And so, yeah, we'll see if he can get the jump that he would like to.
Yeah, Alex Hallinar taking no tires here early on in this race, jumping his way back up to the front of this pack. So we saw he didn't have a very good qualifying session here this evening, so maybe that's his way to just get back up into this fight maybe and get his way up around these front runners here. If you can find a way to get someone behind him and start pushing him a little bit, using that air off the front bumper to keep you pushing without making some actual contact.
That's correct. That's how the draft is going to be in these cars, and we've seen it quite nicely done actually from these 2, Zach DeWale and Robbie Vrabel Jr., our St. Clair drivers, and where Robbie was doing a nice job of pushing and he was able to keep that 0-2 out there to a good-sized lead. But yeah, there's going to be a lot to be said from some of these drivers here in the top 10 as we get later in this race, where they want to make their presence felt as well. They know the drill and just how to get up there. So, and by the way, keeping these engines cool as well. So drivers are going to have to figure out just when they want to get hooked up, because hanging out about 6 inches off of your buddy is pretty fast, but it's not going to be friendly to that engine.
Yeah, it doesn't take much to overheat these big engines that are pushing 900 horsepower here at this track. So everybody's looking to keep their engines cool, find a bit of clean air, but stay tucked in as much as possible. As Edward Sanchez from Baruch College has done a very good job to make his way up the field early in this race and just falling back down to 8th here in this pit stop.
Yeah, and a couple drivers, again, shuffling around, but a couple key places to note. Baruch College in P8, and right now 9th place is that Wingate University machine. I expect to see that one up front for a little while, and then as well the Clemson Tiger. But looks like we're going to get to see what kind of jump does this Binghamton Green machine get down in the corner. That push coming from that 0-2 car, and yeah, out to the front here. Not much of a jump you can get, Jordan, on these big straightaways. It is all, and oh, he's gone up, found his teammate. That, it is not lost it in the sun, but that 0-2, he simply wants to get out. He wants that clean air, and the University of Virginia trying to figure out where he needs to be as well.
Yeah, DeWale knowing that car in front of him is on 0 tires from that last pit stop, so he's going to use his tire advantage to step out and get past him as Connor Levy seems to be fading here a little bit. Not too unexpected as DeWale fades back down to the low line there, right in front of Thomas Toomey out of that University of Virginia car. Zachary DeWale's teammate Tommy Vrabel Jr. is sending it through the middle here, 3 wide, makes it work. He's now side by side with his teammate down the back straight. What a move from Vrabel Jr. there. Connor Levy's got a view of 2 St. Clair College bumpers right in front of him. He's looking to push that 0-2 of DeWale down this back straight.
Yeah, they are. Look at that Sun Devil diving down. St. Clair College with the front row lockout continuing, and down in the corner we are 3 wide behind. That's Drexel University, who's really not given much room up top to Baruch and the Arizona State Sun Devils. He's got a lane below, but maybe he wants to be up high. So right there, 3 wide, and it looks like Arizona State going to be the loser here. Not for lack of tires, Jordan, just no help up top.
Yeah, trying to make a 3rd lane work, and nobody's going up to help Connor Levy right now. As they get into him a little bit.
Big contact right there. Wow.
That was very, very close between Connor Levy, or not Connor Levy, sorry, that was Jason Willott in the 76 car, so. No, sorry, it was Connor Levy as well.
It was those 2, yep.
Slowing them down quite a bit. That has mixed it up over at the top. That was very good from both drivers to keep it straight there, because there was a lot of contact through the corner.
Here on board with Edward Sanchez, you can see he's continuing to stay focused here. He's trying to push that Virginia Cavalier, that big blue car, on the low line, see if he can get something done here. And that low line does seem to have a run here, but this is going to be the test, Jordan. Can those 2 drivers, we know how good they are together, can they make that outside line work by themselves here as they get off turn 2 and ultimately probably turn 4? I think that's going to be the defining factor of if these drivers trust everybody in that high line, if there's some pace there. It looks like Virginia shuffled to the middle, and we'll see if the 26 can make something on the low side here.
Edward Sanchez out of that Baruch car, that blue car down on the bottom line there, fighting all the way that 166, as you see the 2 St. Clair cars drop right down to that yellow line as soon as it becomes available to the 2 of them. They are right back into that place they were right before that yellow flag. Nose to tail, those 2 St. Clair cars lead us another lap around here at Daytona. That Baruch College Edward Sanchez car has worked his way up 4 positions, 5 positions now already since our restart. Very good start from Baruch College's Edward Sanchez.
Yeah, Baruch doing very well. Virginia obviously hanging out there on that upper line right there. Drexel University, he knows his strategy is just to hang out in this area. And oh, by the way, look who's entered the chat. The Ohio State Buckeyes are going to be riding that high line as well. They're going to put some speed into those cars up top, and suddenly, yeah, very exciting. A lot of side drafting right there and trying to pull out. Big trouble. Big trouble for those cars. About 3.5 wide into the corner, and the biggest situation there is that driver has lost his partner. Suddenly, Jordan, a battle for the lead between these two drivers. Edward Sanchez on top of your screen from Baruch College and St. Clair College on the bottom right there. Both those drivers trying to focus forward and figure out how they're going to put their car at the point. But Andrew Williams, the Clemson Tiger, takes the show so far. Clemson to the point for the time being. And suddenly those two drivers have their hands full of a whole field, Jordan, about the top 10.
Yeah, things got real hairy real quickly down on that back straight. Vrabel getting very, very loose out of 1 and 2. But has seemed to find the back of his bumper of his teammate once again already. The two St. Clair cars work that outside line once again and push their way first and second, but it's not that Clemson University car on the bottom line. Andrew Williams is not going to let them go down too easily. He's pushing, he's getting a good push from behind. That outside line has a very good run right now. Just there, and there they go, the two St. Clair cars dropping down to that yellow line, where they've seemed to like it all evening long. But what a run from Andrew Williams, coming seemingly out of nowhere, turning that battle of 2 into 3 out of nowhere from that 23 car.
Yeah, look at this nest behind him. This is riding on board with that second place running St. Clair car. You can see Baruch right there. Clemson wants a piece of the action as well. And let's not forget Drexel, but back up at the front, looking like Zach DeWale may have some company. We are 3 wide for the lead here at Daytona, Jordan.
3 wide once again. Edward Sanchez, Thomas Toomey, and Zachary DeWale 3 wide up at the front. The Baruch College car goes right up to that wall here at Daytona. But he's got no help up there. He'll slot back into that outside line, losing a couple of positions. I've seen a couple drivers now try that outside line and just get no help. Nobody looking to help anybody on that outside line so far. Nobody trying to start up a third line and keep it going, as Edward Sanchez has now lost out on a couple positions up at that top line there.
Yeah, look at this. That's Virginia trying to make the move around. We know Drexel University and Baruch could be pretty fast up there. Ohio State as well, but you got to get that outside line nose to tail together. Look at that push. And very risky on the bump drafting, but they've got it figured out. Don't push in the corners. That's the 0.75, keeping the 0.2 up at the lead. And Jordan, yeah, if somebody wants to find victory lane in this one, they're going to have to get around at those 2 red St. Clair College machines.
Yeah, those 2 St. Clair College cars seemingly unable to be separated. Every instant where they turn a car in between them, it has taken only a lap or 2 for Vrabel Jr. to find that back bumper with Zachary DeWale again. So they're doing really good to work together. Drexel are looking to make a third line here. Just taking a slight look, but not going to do anything now. He's taking half the car on that outside, and there he goes, fully up against the wall. Not gonna push it yet. This is Jason Willott, 76 car from Drexel University. So our former winner here at Daytona here for the CiL Cup race last season. He won that Daytona race. We have a Clemson car in the pits, but continue our race here today. Zachary DeWale and Robbie Vrabel Jr. working hard at the front. Being challenged a little bit from Thomas Toomey on that high side, but nothing going. Just not quite getting the run they need on that high side.
Yeah, Jordan, that's very true of people working hard tonight. That Virginia Cavalier, he's trying to get it done mostly by himself on that outside line. But yeah, it's so hard. It's just tricky. The side draft not as effective in these machines as others that we have seen in the world of NASCAR in the past 20, 30 years or so. And so as a result, yeah, it's going to be really hard. He's going to need some help if he's going to get around the top 2. And the help is there. It's behind him. But to your point, Jordan, 24 laps of 80 in the books here. Probably a little early to really start stressing on that high line. But, yeah, somebody is going to have to come down. This is going to look like a 2004, 2005 Talladega race. We're going to have to wait, and then somebody's going to get hung out with hurt feelings as we come, to the checkered flag there with coming to the checkered flag. That's going to be the end of it. But we'll have to wait a little bit for that conclusion. In the meantime, squarely in third position, the Clemson Tigers there. That is Drew Williams in that machine.
And look who's pushing it. It's that green mean machine of that. Who is that? Oh, I forgot who that is, but he took no tires at that last caution, so that green machine doing well to find his way up at the front with that strategy car, the strategy on that caution. So very well done across the board on the strategy calls here this evening, but those 2 St. Clair cars still holding their way out. Now 3 cars on the bottom pulling out away the Drexel car. Fading high as we go 3 wide through the corner. Alex Alinar on the bottom.
Yeah, and a big squish right there on the outside. Drexel University was running out of room. Just enough, though, to get back in line. A little bit of a shuffle up at the front. That P3 is now Virginia again, followed by their ACC pals at Clemson. And then we do get to the Binghamton University machine. That's Alex Palinar running on the low side. Baruch College and Edward Sanchez up on the high side. And no surprise to see Wingate University and Arizona State University following in that low line. But I think the question here is going to be see how much pushing can that 13 car from Ohio State get done on the high side. It's starting to thin out up there, and so I don't know if that'll be the land of opportunity for some of those drivers or if that will be more advantageous for the lower line below.
As we see Edward Sanchez leading that high line, he's been sitting up there all evening long. He has been liking it up there. That 13 car right behind him of Matthew Morton. He's a race winner already this season, so he knows what he's doing. But it's not going to take long as we've got some slow cars here up ahead, some lap traffic coming around. Let's see how the lead pack deals with these guys.
Like everybody, moving by politely. I think those, in fact, all 3 of these cars here, that's Spencer Brown in North Carolina at Charlotte up top, were involved in that early incident there. That was pretty unfortunate for those drivers. But back up at the front here, we have got a battle coming for the lead and big movement up front here. Everybody keeping it straight, having to duck down, and this is an opportunity. No help right now for DeWale on the low side. And can that Baruch College get that push from the Buckeye coming off turn 2? This is when it would happen, Jordan. Drexel University third in that outside line. Looks like a little bit of 3-on-2 right now. Suddenly outside and not quite hooked up. And look at that push. Vrabel pushing DeWale into turn 3 and nose to nose into turn 3. Those drivers are on it and just couldn't get it done. That outside line is going to have to be immaculate if they are going to have to get this one ahead of those 2 cars. And I don't know if anybody, Jordan, is getting past DeWale in this one.
Yeah, Vrabel, he is pushing hard, and he is pushing so incredibly well this 2 car all the way to the front. Even though they got separated a little bit down that back straight, once he caught up, it was just they linked up and just rocket ship back past that outside line. Here we go, pushing him once again, giving DeWale the full lead up at the front.
Yeah, shot out of a cannon, Jordan, and back down into turn 3 we go. Neck and neck are the 2 drivers on your screen. Baruch College on top with Edward Sanchez, and the Griffins St. Clair College below there. That is Zach DeWale, and these 2 drivers have spent just about 30 laps trying to get ahead of one another. They got 50 to go when they get to the line. Big spread behind, a big wiggle from DeWale, and he is not making it. There they go around. That's going to be a big one. Virginia involved. Baruch survives. A couple of those drivers. Drexel University around. Drexel University on their lid, trying to come through the tri-oval. Binghamton University involved. The second catastrophe of the night for that Red Bull machine right there. Spencer Brown and yeah, Jason Willott also involved. That's not what you need, and holy macaroni, that's going to change this race, Jordan.
Yeah, that's a big one, and that does exactly what everybody in the field was hoping. Separates those two St. Clair College cars. Vrabel getting caught up early in that one, saw him spinning into the infield, so DeWale getting lucky to get away from that one without too much damage. But we see those two cars all alone. So much of that lead pack was taken out. Thomas Toomey survived. Connor Levy survived.
And I actually saw that Virginia machine around. I'm not sure if he was able to hit nothing. I do see maybe a little bit of something on that left front fender right there, and we will have the replays here as they catch up to the pace car. But yeah, that was aggressive, and it all started right there at the front when those drivers were just struggling right there to get sorted out up at the front.
Yeah, let's take another look at this one here up at the front. Vrabel Jr. just getting a little loose, getting under his teammate there. We see exactly that contact we were talking about. And there's contact there between the 02 and who's that? Thomas Toomey there, the 166. Doing good, taking that car through the grass, but keeping it 4 wheels forward. And DeWale very lucky to not have high amounts of damage there, as he was very sideways getting into the side of the Baruch College car of Edward Sanchez as he leads everybody down pit lane here.
Yeah, so here we come down pit lane. These drivers are going to get into their box, and we'll see if anybody takes a little bit of extra repairs. I don't know if our leader, St. Clair College, will be in that boat, but we'll have to see. It looks like Thomas Toomey missing his pit box just a little bit. That's not going to be good for the Virginia team. Off pit road goes Arizona. You saw them come by on the bottom of your screen. And now Zach DeWale continuing to wait. It looks like one of the Clemson machines off pit road as well. Arizona State. So yeah, taking the time to buff some of that. And a lot of these drivers taking time to buff out the consequences, I guess, of that one, Jordan. And these drivers now are going to be in a race to see who can get rid of those repairs first. But your leader actually has the 02 machine. There he goes. But your leader currently, Connor Levy, catching back up to the pace car. But yeah, that was a tricky one, and let's see if we can get on board with that Thomas Toomey machine. That was going to be a vantage point to look for.
Yeah, there was some heavy contact between him and DeWale that sent him spinning down. So let's take a look from his vantage point. So you see Vrabel get a little loose and then into his teammate there. That's what sends Vrabel down low, is contact. Ooh. Very sideways into the grass. Incredible job from Thomas Toomey to keep that car off of everything and just cut a little bit of grass, but
you can see right there Andrew Williams too. Thought he was clear, but just got tagged by that 13, and that's so hard when you think, Jordan, that you've made it through such a tricky thing. And a big contact there. That was Spencer Brown, who was right there. That's not what you want to see.
Spencer Brown taking another hit. Spencer Brown taking all of the abuse here tonight. He got caught up in that incident earlier. He was part of that first caution, another one that wasn't really his fault. You see him slowing down through all the smoke, and just car merges last second. Spins down low. That has not been his night here for Spencer Brown out of North Carolina, Charlotte.
No, that is not what you want, and this is on board with North Carolina State through that one. The Wolfpack just trying to get through the pack here. Down, that's the correct answer. Go as low as you can. This is take the 1X, as they say, and does he make it through? Almost. Oh no, this is going to be tragic. What a move of safety. I didn't think he would hit anything, but we saw right there. Very, very tough for that driver. And yeah, that's one that's going to collect a lot of drivers.
So unfortunate there for Nordberg as he looked to be clear of it all and then just sees that Red Bull car coming down low and he's in the grass. He can't do anything to get out of the way.
He did. And Jordan, let's take a quick run through of the field after that big shuffling of the deck. Your leader right now, Arizona State University and Arizona State University. So you like front row lockouts, the Sun Devils on this one. And it looks like we are going to have one more lap under caution, and Drexel University will find themselves in third place. That is Timothy Wilms, and that car is going to have a lot more support because that 76 machine was very discombobulated at the end of that incident right there. We see Mount St. Mary's University on the outside there. That's Christian Hill. Fifth place going to be Edwin Onofre from the University of North Texas. We talked about his awareness. Looks like he made it through that one. Good on him. And then we have Ryan Wilson from Minnesota State Mankato, 7th position right there. Maybe good to note, I think, that Thomas Toomey there in the 7th position for now. And then we also see, looks like maybe the 5th position going to be, excuse me, I think that somewhere in there was Zach DeWale as these drivers continue to swap positions under caution, but Zach DeWale there in that 5th position. So moving back on down the field just a bit. We did say the Virginia Cavaliers are 7th, 8th place going to go to Minnesota State Mankato. 9th place going to go to, excuse me, that is Virginia just trying to get caught up there. And looks like now we have some lap cars. In fact, a number of cars a lap down right here. Not sure if they will go filter to the back or get a wave around, but that is an 18th position Lee Nutter from ETSU. By the way, we talked about that 76 machine. That is not how your car is supposed to look, but Jason Willott and Drexel University, they had an opportunity there to come back 9th position. 10th place going to be Drew Williams, and also involved in that wreck, but it looks like lights are out, so we are going to stack them up like this. This is how the cars will come down to the line. You can see these drivers getting ready. The Sun Devils take us to the green flag, Jordan.
Yeah, as we have another front row lockout to start us out on a restart. Those two Sun Devils cars getting us off here as the green flag flies. 14 leading the 42 around turn 1.
Yeah, and you can see back up on the high banks, those drivers. Big restrictor plates, but still getting those 900 horsepower machines up to speed and trying to come down there. Oh, and big, looks like maybe Timothy Wilms a little bit unsure there. He's going to let some of these drivers battle out. And he said, yeah, I saw what just happened. I'll have none of that. And a bit of safety for that 86 machine. Probably smart from that Drexel University team that wants to finish right there. Looks like Wingate University up high right there, but everybody making it by without issues so far. Back on that outside, we see Mount St. Mary's University. They're going to see what they can do with a big push from, we talked about that 199 car, Jordan. That's University of North Texas. Edwin Onofre on that outside.
As we see Zachary DeWale, he's now 3rd in line at the bottom line. This front pack has now completely faded apart as all those damaged cars are so much slower. You see the full now their pack just in behind them. But DeWale now pushing. He's in a very different spot. He has not been here all evening long. He's been up at that front. That 085 car of Christian Hill getting a good push on the outside from Edwin Onofre. It's a good line from the outside there. Working well together now.
Yeah, they are. And one car that I see on the scoring tower I did not expect to see so far down is Edward Sanchez in Baruch College making a CiL debut tonight. I actually thought he made it through quite safely in that incident, but maybe had a long pit stop or just cycled out simply behind some of those lapped cars. And so he's back in that 15th position and not able to race for the lead currently, but he'll be back up. I'm sure he had the pace. And so right now, suddenly, the outside line, and maybe, Jordan, we're seeing just how good the 02 and the 075 were working together. However, I say that because, yeah, it looks like right now the outside line is moving.
Yeah, that outside line is working now. Now that the St. Clair College cars are separated up at the front, but they continue to push. Sends it down the inside. There's the North Texas car. Edwin Onofre taking the lead. Sorry, that's Thomas Toomey, the University of Virginia car, making a move high line to low line for the lead as they continue to push through back straight onto the turns 3 and 4. These front 7 cars now make up our lead pack. Still, Whale has made the move up to that top line now as well.
Yeah, DeWale moved up top. He's going to be pushing that Clemson University machine, and they're going to see if they can all move around the outside of Virginia here as we move into turn 1. Tell you who I would not count out right now is Minnesota State from Mankato, that campus, and Ryan Wilson. We know that he's got the pace, both from previous CiL events and from his eNASCAR background. That car could pop up in the front. But back up at the point right now is a battle between Virginia and North Texas as those drivers go ahead and get figured out. What a move to put that Virginia machine up front, kind of threading the needle between those two. But yeah, it's seems to be this blanket of cars right now, Jordan.
Yeah, just these 7 cars we have cleared out. As most of those cars is now faded back. Anybody majorly involved in that first incident. Or second incident, sorry. So we see Ryan Wilson. You say he's quick. We know this. He finished 2nd in our short track series just last season. So he is quick, and he is someone to keep an eye on here at Daytona as he gets a run on this bottom line to catch back up to that 085 car.
Big run, but really nowhere to go with these bouncy cars and this bumpy surface. And it's a little bit thin out here, not to be confused with that very wide Talladega racing surface here at Daytona. And so up at the front right now, we still maintain a bit of a wiggle out of that 085 machine. Christian Hill with his hands full. He's trying to get the job done up on that low line there, pushing that Virginia machine. Do you see one lap car up ahead? Perhaps will stay high, and we can all move underneath.
Yeah, that lap traffic just going to stay up top. That seems to be the Drexel car. He's involved in that last incident, but we continue to push here up at the front. It's North Texas leading the point now. Edwin Onofre doing a very good job to lead this low line. Thomas Toomey from the University of Virginia does not want to help him out. Onofre moving up and down the track, looking to block as we've hit our halfway point already. We crossed the stripe for lap 42 of 80 here tonight, so the intensity starting to ramp up here already with just under 40 laps to go.
Yeah, we've crossed the Cross Flags point halfway here at the Garage Shop College Cup race at Daytona. 3rd race of our 12-race summer season for these drivers. Out of school and into the car here, we got the University of Virginia continuing his charge on the inside. I'll tell you what, resiliency is that car's greatest feature, Jordan, because he does get shuffled back occasionally, but quickly we see him jump right back up front, and that seems to be a trend from that 166.
Yeah, Thomas Toomey doing a very, very good job here this evening to keep his car up at the front of the pack. The farther up you are, the less cars you have to deal with if there's a wreck. So sitting in the back of the pack, not something you want to do. As we saw during that last incident, it doesn't matter how safe you are. The person in front of you wrecks. It's a high likelihood you will too. So we are 3 wide for the lead right now.
Oh, and nowhere for North Texas to go. North Texas is stuck behind that Baruch College machine, who may be down on power, actually, given the pace difference right there. I know he doesn't have the draft, but Baruch College, I thought, had come out of that incident, the big one, as it were. But yeah, not right there. And North Texas, I guess, just chose not to turn left. Of course, nothing you really can do right there. And yeah, it is suddenly a race between Clemson University and Virginia, and those are 2 schools who would like to beat each other to victory lane here tonight, Jordan.
And look who's back up to the front. It's the 0-2 of Zachary DeWale. Now without his teammate Robbie Vrabel, who's back in 13th right now, but DeWale has now found his way back up to the front of the line, so he's now side by side up on that high side in that O2 car.
Up on the high side with a little bit of help. That's going to be key. Oh, the 166, a big move there from Virginia. He's trying. I'm not sure if that was a side draft or just being really tight into the corner. We know that it's really big trouble for, looks like Connor Levy was sideways. It was in that 14 machine. The Sun Devils, the caution is out. The 14 will get back underway, but not before we take another pause in this one, and that will give all the blue names on your screen an opportunity to get around to the lead lap, at least that Binghamton car, and that will be a key here. So again, the race gets a little spice here, Jordan.
Yeah, that's so unfortunate for Connor Levy, who's been killing it in the pit so far. He's won both races off of pit lane. Let's just take another look at how this happened. 14 second on that high line. So he comes off just contact made behind. Multiple cars collected in it, but Connor Levy getting the worst.
Yeah, and where have we seen that? Just another push off the corner. Looked very similar to our issue between other teammates previously, but that seems to be the trend right here for these drivers who are coming off the corner. You want to give your buddy a push, and you know there's the land of opportunity for this outside line ahead. Just checked up a little bit, and it does not take much at all. And oh, double whammy there for Arizona State Garrett Vitton that we were riding on board with. And tell you what, poor Christian Hill, man, he was just along for that one.
Yeah, so unfortunate. Again, just collected. You can't do much about it when the car is wrecked in front of you. You only have so much time to react, and they're sideways. There's nothing that the 085 could do. Christian Hill there, he just gets turned right down into. So that is the second caution coming out from two teammates trying to push each other here already this evening. So we are in pit lane. You see Zachary DeWale up at the front of our pit lane as he was our pole setter. He comes out third off of that race off pit lane. Edwin Onofre, Andrew Williams winning it. Edwin Onofre second. Thomas Toomey's in third. Matthew Nordberg fourth, and Zachary DeWale is all the way back in fifth off of that race off pit road there. So unfortunate from him. He was right up there at the front as that caution flag fell, so he's going to drop back a couple of positions here. So we see a bunch of those lapped cars getting their laps back.
Yeah, those lap cars will have an opportunity to get their lap back. And how quick do things happen in these cars here? Pretty quick if you are Christian Hill. Really tricky movement there. Just nothing to do as we come off the corner on board with this car. And we said he just caught the quarter panel. He was low. He was riding, making a good run, and nothing you could do. In fact, great job to almost save it right there. Very hard to do so when your rear tires are up on the hood of that Sun Devil machine. But yeah, not too much damage, but probably just enough to affect an outcome here for that 085 machine. But very quick these things happen.
Yeah, unfortunate for that Mount St. Mary's car, who's still in the pits getting that damage fixed up. Andrew Williams here will be our lead car come to the green flag. We have a couple of those lapped cars coming out of the pits now, but everybody's getting their lap back here this evening as Andrew Williams just taking his time. That Clemson University car sitting in behind our pace car here tonight. 23 will lead the way off the green flag. The inside of Edwin Onofre from North Texas. So this will just be our second restart, or second start, our first restart without a teammate lockout up at the front. Oh,
Yeah,
this will be our first. This will be our first because the two St. Clair cars got us started. So
yeah, it will indeed. It'll be pretty exciting and noteworthy to see who partners up well and who the teammates are, unspoken teammates here, as we have these drivers coming to the green flag. I'll tell you who is up front. That 076 car, Matthew Nordberg. NC State is up at the front. The Wolfpack made it through that one, and we saw just a touch earlier on that Spencer Brown machine, but apparently alive so far. And so very good on them. I do see that P18 car, Edward Sanchez, still with Baruch College there in P18, so tough right now. I also see the lights on the pace car, so maybe a lap has been extended, not sure, but we know that those cars are going to take the wave around, or cars that were taking the wave around, they may not be caught up yet. In fact, I can see they're not caught up yet as we look back through the field there. Jordan, yeah, because those cars that we saw taken off towards the end, they would not be, should be caught up now. So
Yeah, just one more lap here so everyone can get caught up and nicely lined up before we get started here. Nick Stockner has found some misfortune this evening as well. He is quite a way back here in 23rd, that Clemson University car. But as we look up back at the front, we see North Texas, University of Virginia, and North Carolina State all doing their jobs. As Bradley Daniels from Robert Morris University, they have not had the evening. They want Robert Morris, both of their cars getting caught up in that first incident here this evening.
yeah, that's correct, and kind of a bummer there from Robert Morris as all these drivers. Yeah, no wonder. I think we probably did extend the caution. The wave around cars trying to get around this big 2.5 mile oval and get caught up and in the proper order, and still doing so. As we see a couple drivers moving by that 57, he will be given those positions there. But yeah, Robert Morris, staple here with those unique paint schemes here in CiL, especially on the Garage Shop College Cup side. But yeah, we saw that first incident, that first yellow flag, Jordan, and it's going to be really hard for those drivers to come back from that.
As the lights are now off on our pace car, and we seem to be sorted out quite well at the back at this point, so pace driver takes it into the pit lanes. Andrew Williams will take us to our green flag here for the fourth restart here in Daytona. We take a slow restart to get these cars moving up to speed here once again. Andrew Williams on the inside of Edwin Onofre. Williams holding the lead through 1 and 2. So you see Zachary DeWale back on that low side after that restart. He'll be pushing hard on that low side on that 166. Edwin Onofre getting a good jump out of 2 and 3 there on that high side.
Yeah, big push there from that 166 car, and Jordan, I'm interested to see just how well that 076 does. No fast repair, so any damage that's not repaired. Oh, up in the wall a little bit for that 76. That's not what you're supposed to do there. Matthew Nordberg, the Wolfpack driver, just a little bit high, and will he move up? No, 166 staying low. And yeah, I was gonna say it's still up in the wall there. I'm not sure. Maybe some steering damage on that NC State machine, but was gonna say up at the front. We'll see if that bottom line prevails, because that damage is not going to help the pushing ability of that outside 076 car.
And we are on lap 50, officially 30 laps to go here at Daytona, so it's starting to run out of time for everybody now. Once again, the intensity just ramps up as each lap ticks off the board. The slow line seemingly working well together is that, like you said, that car on that high side, the 076, is struggling clearly with some damage from that second incident.
Yeah, I think so. That 166 trying to work down. But I'll tell you who I see in that third position right now. That is Zach DeWale, and he is working, just trying to make that bottom work. Not as much help right now. His race strategy has surely updated to just trying to move around the cars that are here and treating this much more like a solo event. You can hear him lift right there, and look at this traffic jam out of his windshield. He's got 5-6 cars bouncing around this Daytona Superspeedway. That is Thomas Toomey. He's chasing right now in that orange Chevrolet. That's the Virginia machine. And yeah, he's going to be working pretty hard to get up to the front. But up at the front, University of North Texas. I'll tell you what, Jordan, not for lack of trying, that North Texas machine continues to try and work up to the front.
Yeah, Edwin Onofre doing a tremendous job here this evening to work his way up to the front and continue to push hard, even with Matthew Nordberg with a little bit of damage from behind. So he's racing the wheels off that thing up the 076 to keep Edwin Onofre up at the front. Just see how Thomas Toomey and Andrew Williams locked up there all the way down that back straight. Linked up, sorry, not locked up, as they got a good push into 3 and 4 as they come around 3 and 4 here towards the tri-oval. Once again, Andrew Williams side by side, just 2 clear lanes here. No one looking to start a third right now, but as the laps count down, it wouldn't surprise me to start to see one forming pretty soon here.
Yeah, these drivers know that they'll need to be in position, need to be pretty clean there at the end. And I also would not be surprised, Jordan, as you say, to have a third line, to have a caution flag, and to be in position for a green-white checkered. And that's going to be on the minds of these drivers, as well as Arizona State through the grass, and that is Garrett Vinton. I think these cars, they are moving around to avoid, but evasive action is taken. And, well, Andrew Burrell in the wall up north, but yeah, not quite what you need there.
Forward.
He's got it moving forward, and that was not quite how those drivers anticipated doing that. Yeah, Garrett Vinton, what was the cause here as the battle continues at the front? But Garrett Vinton was coming down, and it was getting into turn 3 here, Jordan. Looked like he was on the bottom here.
Is the bottom being pushed by Spencer Brown and just seemingly sandwiched. There's a car in front of him and a car behind him, and he nowhere really for him to go. He got down into that grass for a bit. That 188, that 888 car got up into the wall. Spencer Brown pushing him in that Red Bull machine right behind that 42. Let's see if we can see a little bump here come in. See him check up, and yeah, it's
oh, and there's a view, looking just enough space for that cow to sneak through. Brad Daniels, expertly done with a bit of luck there to the Robert Morris driver. A really solid move there. And yeah, pretty tricky, but we do stay green from that one. And Jordan, nothing new up at the front. This continues.
Yeah, kind of a deadlock up here at the front of the pack. Just 2 lanes. Everybody waiting it out a little bit. Not quite the time to start getting too panicked as we count down to 25 laps to go here. To continue. Just 2 lanes here. Bottom lane working well though for Andrew Williams. Zachary DeWale. There's Matthew Morton. He got caught up in that earlier incident, and he's worked his way back up to the front now. He's up in P6 here.
He is working up into P6, and I'll tell you, another Matthew that continues to put in work is that North Carolina State driver, Matt Nordberg, pushing, as you see, the 76 there on the inside. Pushing that green University of North Texas machine on the outside. A great shot of these drivers trying to negotiate. Man, that track looks just wide enough for 3 lanes, but we know how risky it can be, Jordan.
Yeah, especially with how bumpy this track is here, as we were running the Legacy Daytona track here for the Garage Shop CiL Cup Summer Series here. But with it bumpy, it is risky to try and run 3 wide, especially multiple cars along 3 abreast. So it's going to be difficult, but drivers will be willing to take that risk as we continue to go down the order in terms of laps here. We have another lap car coming up front here, coming up to the leaders. He should have hopefully stay out of the way once they catch him.
Big trouble! Big trouble! That is Alex Hallinar, and it looks like Clint Halterman. Those 2 drivers, Binghamton and UNC Charlotte, those 2 drivers are in trouble, and the yellow is out. And we will get to reshuffle once again. Not as big as we had seen before, but yeah, that was quite the incident.
And that looks like it's likely going to be the end of Hallinar's night as his engine's gone now. But see what happened here. Hallinar looking to make it 3 wide through the middle, and maybe caught a bump, maybe got a bump from behind or something. She got very loose and up into the 07 car of Clint Halterman. One of our race winners here already in our first couple of races here for the Rod Shop CiL Cup Series.
Yeah, and I think coming up the middle here, Hallinar, and not a bunch of move. I don't know if that was netcode. Yeah, big move right there. And it looks like maybe with some help from the 085, that was not what Hallinar needed right there. But these drivers are that's gonna be a bummer for them. And yeah, you wonder if some room could be left, but we will never know how that one could have played out.
Yeah, as Hallinar, he made that move to the middle here. You see the 085 car right along with Christian Hill. And yeah, just getting a little help all the way around. Oh, Spencer Brown just narrowly missing out on another incident for him here tonight. He has been right there for almost all of them now, but our leaders come single file. We'll see if anybody looks to take a pit stop here, as we just had a caution just about 10 laps ago. So we are coming to 20 laps to go in here in our race. We're going to Onofre leading the pack around though.
Yeah, Onofre leading this pack. I don't suspect we'll have any takers on this one, Jordan. And pretty tough incident there. It's a bold move from the 57 to kind of run up the center like that, though you mentioned it, that with 20 to go, as we see in our ticker, that's going to happen. That's going to start to happen more. The 085 maybe trying to get a little bit of a side draft or defense, but you saw right there those two cars coming together. I also, we've seen a couple times, Jordan, where the 085 Mount St. Mary's team has moved up, especially when lap traffic is coming. They'll kind of jump off that bottom yellow line in the corners. So I don't know if it's a case of the driver following his or her eyes, or what that may be, but nonetheless, those two drivers come together. A bold move from that Binghamton team ends in disaster. And yeah, you mentioned it. That engine is out of that car. He needs 8 new cylinders. The Binghamton machine might be done, and looks like these drivers are going to get going again here pretty soon. So that is your leader right now, North Texas.
Yeah, North Texas, Edwin Onofre, the 199, leading this race right now. But we saw such a clean battle all the way up at the front. Those two lines, the two drivers who are leading both lines will switch inside to out and outside to in, as everybody just was keeping it nice and calm up at the front. Everyone pretty 2x2 all the way down, nothing too crazy. No one really trying to get a third lane started. We see possibly why no one wanted to take the risk of that third one.
Yeah, and it is super risky, Jordan. I do see that 19th place Mount St. Mary's car. I didn't think they had a ton of damage. Obviously, they got squeezed in the wall, but still working on that thing in pit lane. Or maybe they're discussing their opinions on that incident, that 18th and 19th position car there. So both those drivers with an unfortunate bit. But Jordan, back up at the front, we are going to have a 20-lap dash here at this Daytona Superspeedway, and 20 laps will not pass by so quickly, but definitely going to come down to it. And this caution period is probably going to be the marker that everybody needs to become a little bit more aggressive. So we are going to see a lot more of those moves. We've already seen a lot of aggression from that Virginia team, and we know that Clemson car is fast and consistent as well. And Jordan, I'm not sure what that 076 car is willing to do to find themselves up front. Oh, by the way, check out that 5th place runner, the Ohio State Buckeye Matthew Morton. We know he's got pace to be up here, but right now it's the ACC show as they try and go to work on the University of North Texas. The talented Edwin Onofre, he's going to try and hold these drivers off for 20 laps. Jordan, we're coming to the green flag. Excuse me, we are not coming to the green flag. These drivers doubled up, and I suspect cars continuing to be a little bit stuck in getting ahead. Yeah, lights off on the pace car there, so we will try this one more time. And just a bit of false alarm there.
Yeah, just another lap added on pretty late there for some of the lap traffic, catching back up to the back of the field once again. 2.5 miles is pretty hard to catch all the way back around with just one lap, so Joan getting an extra couple of seconds to catch up to the back of this field as we will look to go green once again with 18 laps to go once that green flag flies, so not a whole lot of time left for these drivers. Maybe we see Thomas Toomey making his intentions clear, pulling alongside the two leaders there. Maybe a little bit of communication there to the O2 of DeWale, trying to let him know, hey, I'm going to try and go around the outside there. It's going to be interesting to see here on the restart if Andrew Williams will have anything more to think about. So lights are off on our pace car, and we will get ready to go back to green flag racing as we head through turns 3 and 4.
Right, coming to this green, we can ride on board with Matt Norberg. What does he see as the driver tries to look out just when to get the right jump? That control car in front of him is the University of North Texas. A slow roll up to the green flag, and here they go. Looks like Clemson also getting a good run as we race down into turn 1. Quick on the shifts, and back to racing we go, Jordan.
Yep, back up to speed, back up through the gears as Matthew Nordberg finds himself right in behind the leader of Edwin Onofre, who got a great jump off the start. That North Texas car having a tremendous restart, totally clear of Andrew Williams. But Andrew Williams getting the push from Thomas Toomey, who did not decide to go 3 wide here on that outside and just keeping things calm. Ooh, a little bit of a
big wiggle and a big push there. Virginia pushing a little bit. You can see he got a little bit of pause there now. A big gap on that outside. That's going to stall out. And tight understeer, whatever you want to call it, for the 076 there. Nordberg, not sure how much damage we can see on the front of that car, but suddenly it's a battle for second with North Texas as your race leader.
And that outside line has just completely disappeared. The O2 just all alone now on this outside line. He's got a couple car lengths to the next car in behind for him, so just completely dissolving out of play as the 13 comes up. So that's Matthew Morton. He is quick enough. We know he can move. That's someone Zach's going to want to work with as he is now up to the front of this outside line. A couple cars, Thomas Toomey moving back up to the front, up to the outside lane as that inside line has seemingly now disappeared. Everybody looking for their chance. Andrew Williams has now been shuffled back a couple of positions here. And there it is, DeWale leading another lap.
Tight for a second time. That's how we got up there. Tight for a second time off turn 4 was Matthew Nordberg, the Wolfpack driver. And yeah, everybody now saying, I want none of that. Not sure what is going on with that bottom lane. And the big loser here, Edwin Onofre, there is nowhere for him to fit in that high line. Your leader right now is Zach DeWale, getting pushed quite nicely, we might add, from that 13 car. So the Ohio State Buckeyes in position with 16 to go to win this one as well. There's a little bit at the bottom, so making the new bottom line is what you can do there. The 13 car, he's going to try and stay down there and push, and those two drivers have decided that they need to block that bottom for the time being. And we might see here those two trying to control both lines of this race, but we'll have to see, Jordan.
Yeah, Matthew Morton has had the pace all evening long, and so does Zachary DeWale. He has led multiple laps all the way around here tonight. He seemingly moved all the way down that track to block the 13, who made a good move to the bottom, but DeWale getting in front of him is Connor Levy on the outside, getting a good push from Thomas Toomey all the way up to the front of this track now here. Back to more even lines here on the inside and outside line. CO2 St. Clair car.
Big push from that 166, and I think he just got up underneath that 14 car a little bit. Watch what that does. That bottom line now with the momentum. Your new leader this time by is Zach DeWale from St. Clair College.
something like that can upset the car and maybe get some tempers flaring in the cockpit a little bit from Connor Levy, as he knows he doesn't want that contact actually made with his front bumper. Just use the air to push. Thomas Toomey getting into him a little bit as he got very, very sideways. Kept it rolling. That was a big wiggle from him. The 02 continuing to work well here with this 13 car from Ohio State. So they're doing well on this bottom line, as Connor Levy will lead us around Arizona State car.
Yeah, Arizona State. And you can see right there, actually, that 14 car, Arizona State. And then you can see Ryan Wilson. We talked about him in what I think is 8th place from Minnesota State and Mikado. And he's trying to pay attention right now, get moved up. You know what? I think he's a 10th place, that 42 machine. So could the Sun Devils get hooked up and do something together? That would be a race, Jordan. But I don't know if anybody's got anything right now. It seems like every time we come off turn 4, that leader is Zach DeWale, the 02 car. But Connor Levy, he is doing his best right now. And that 166, boy, if that car, that Virginia machine, can time those pushes off the corner, then that outside line might have something. But again, we said it earlier, Jordan, that outside line is going to have to do very well and have no mistakes to get it done here at Daytona.
Yeah, that outside line needing that little bit extra just to get around as DeWale seems to be a little cautious now as we come around with 12 laps to go. It'll be 11 when we hit that stripe. With those 2 cars, Thomas Toomey and Connor Levy, working very well on that outside line. DeWale, though, just gets such a good push into the corner. He's able to carry that momentum around, working well for these 2 cars down and leading the front bottom line here.
Yeah, it is. Lap traffic coming up, a single car up high, and it is no less bumpy here at Daytona. These drivers trying to sort out just where they can go around that Drexel University machine up top and to the front. Zach DeWale and Connor Levy having a race down side by side, trying to get as much advantage as they can. Can the 166 find some pace? No, he's going to look low, now up high, and that outside line not very lined up. That's not going to help him getting into turn 3, and this is where that 02 car just shoots out ahead, Jordan, turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, and we were 3 wide farther back at the back of that pack. That seems to have settled down now. With the 02, yeah, like you said, able to find so much pace through 3 and 4 with a good push from Matthew Morton, who's just been so good in that 13 car all evening long, and he's now linked up well with this 02 car, who's been receiving some really good pushes from the cars behind, whether it was his teammate of Grable Jr. earlier, and now it's Morton. So it's doing
it is, and
could
this be something here? Shuffled out almost and back, hooked up that outside line. I thought they were trying to make a third line, Jordan. It is officially time here with 11 laps to go, but that 166 getting back in line. Maybe he's just getting a run. He comes down off that banking and tries to push that Sun Devil forward. That would be a valid strategy here at Daytona. But again, it's going to be pretty tricky. And I don't know if you're Ohio State, when do you pull out? Also, if you're North Texas, you know you've got the pace. And here at Daytona, can't go below that yellow line you see on your screen there on the bottom that denotes the out of bounds for these drivers here at Daytona. And so, yeah, that 02, he's going to have to make sure that he catches his mirror full. And, yeah, can the 166 do anything this time by?
The DeWale is getting to that point of defend your line, and if you can get ahead, defend the line on the outside as well, because they're pushing good down this back straight. Ooh, as they come completely disconnected there. Thomas Toomey getting very loose into 3 and 4 there. Just not working out, and that's not going to help Connor Levy. See, he gets stranded a little bit as these front 2 get clear of him all the way. Edwin Onofre from North Texas as well, seemingly finding his way in front of Connor Levy now as well. This bottom line working well, able to stay neatly in a line, but it's only a matter of time before someone makes a move.
Yeah, and back up front, Zach DeWale is your leader. I don't know if that was, I mean, that's going to stall out the top a lot. I thought that the 13 might stay in line, but I thought the 199 might pop up. But everybody back in line, and suddenly, just back the way we were, Virginia is going to be pushed by Clemson, and they're going to try and push those Sun Devils up front. And right there, is it an opportunity for the 14 this time by? And a big advantage right there. Who would it be this time by? The 14, excuse me, the 02, I think. DeWale by a nose, but these drivers not lifting at all. And it is a wonder, Jordan, we do not have a third line at this point, but these drivers are working right now. 8 laps to go at Daytona.
Yeah, it's a little further back up, taking a little look, but no one getting all the way out looking to set up a third line here, as everybody seems to just stay in line, keep it neat, keep it tidy, and just try and take your advantage right at the very end of this race.
That's what it's going to be. Expect a lot of movement for these cars off turn 4, and that's where the move is going to be on the last lap here. But right now, these drivers trying to get every bit they can. 02 would love to get at least a half a car length or a car length over that 14 car and see if he can control this race from the front. But I don't know if that's possible. We can ride on board. This is Zach DeWale trying to figure out what line to take. He has got eyes locked in. One out the windshield and one out his mirror. Probably 1.5 out his mirror right now. That is full.
And he is clear of Connor Levy there out of 2 and 3. So it's up to him if he wants to take that high line, but he's working well with Morton down low. So it would be a surprise if he makes a move to that high line.
It would be. And trouble, Vrabel right now. That is Robbie Vrabel Jr. We saw around right now. The yellow is out. That will reshuffle the field as well. And big moves right there. That's not what you want to see. And oh man, what a finish we could have had. But it looks like this will be a green-white checkered. I don't think that we'll get all patched up to go. Will be interesting, Jordan, to see if they come down. But right now, yeah, what was the cause here as these drivers are continuing to fight a little bit further in the pack? Yes, 3 wide. Saw this one coming in. Looks like Northeast State in the middle right there. Not sure. Oh, looks like the 56 moved up. 56 just moved up a touch, Jordan.
Yeah, that fixed 56 just sliding up into Robbie Vrabel Jr. and really nothing he could do there. Ryan Wilson just a little tight entering the corner here and drifts up right into Robbie Vrabel Jr. and that's a big hit against that wall for Ryan Wilson as well.
Yeah, it was, and I'm not sure, if he got the yellow line right here, if he was just tied in. But yeah, you can see right here, trying to follow that 84 down. Looks like his car's tracking down right there. And then all of a sudden just comes up right there. Maybe he felt a little bit loose. That almost looked like a small correction right there. And you know what? It probably would have been fine if the field was not 3 wide. But after that, that is all it takes. And look at Dylan Godinez in that 808 machine, man. Nowhere to go. Nothing to do. That is going to be unfortunate for that car as well. Riding on board with Godinez here this is what Godinez saw, man. He just wants to finish this race. He sees the 3 wide up ahead, but again, no easy solutions here, Jordan.
Yeah, as Vrabel just comes up right in front of him. At that point, he's just a passenger. Nothing he can do. As Vrabel rides the wall facing the wrong direction, and yeah, that 808 car just so unfortunate. Wrong place, wrong time. And Zachary DeWale is not going to be too happy with his teammate here, bringing out that caution up at the front. He's going to be under a lot more pressure here right off the restart. And he's in the worst position here for this pit stop. He's got to make the decision. If he goes down, it's a very good chance someone behind stays out and he loses track position.
Yeah, and I don't know. Tires have not appeared at a premium tonight, Jordan. So it could happen for sure if these drivers want to gang up, get fresh Goodyear rubber, and come back. But I am not sure if that is how he wants to play this. But if Zach DeWale does get caught out here, and we'll find out shortly. In fact, they may have already opened the pits, so these drivers might be electing simply to stay out. But yeah, we'll see. In any event, the tires seem to be pretty manageable through the run.
Yeah, believe we've only taken 2 tires here for most of the leaders up front, so it has not been too difficult as yet. They passed by the pits once again, so seemingly everybody up at the front realizing no need for fresh tires as DeWale will lose his drafting partner, Matthew Morton, who comes out in second and will be alongside of him. Morton already a race winner this season in our Garage Shop CiL Cup Summer Series here, but he's now in prime position here leading that outside line. DeWale will have Connor Levy right behind him. So the lights are out on our pace car. Should be going green next time by.
Yeah, it should be going green next time by. We'll see if all the cars here can get caught up. And I'll tell you one thing, there's a little bit of downside, a little bit of upside here for Zach DeWale, the driver of that 0-2 machine. But right now he has, that's 3 or so laps that he does not have to hold off everybody behind him, which was becoming quickly a full-time job. So Zach DeWale right now, he's got probably, he'll have probably 3 laps or so to go ahead and get the job done here. But it's going to be all defense from that 0-2 car. St. Clair College going to try to bring this one home.
Yeah, it's going to be all up to him. He'll be the deciding car on this restart as well. Just wait for the pace car to get out of the way. DeWale started on pole position. He did a good job, but as we see in that bottom right-hand corner, Connor Levy and Matthew Morton doing great in this race. Levy already up 11 positions here tonight.
Yeah, Levy up 11 positions. Good work from the Sun Devil there, and then yeah, everybody on tires on equal playing fields. And so up we go to the green flag. Zach DeWale going to bring in that pace car. It's going to be off, and we are going to have 3 laps to get this figured out. Working lap 78 right now, Jordan.
They are off the 0-2 of DeWale, and we are already 3 wide across the line. Thomas Toomey's in the middle there. They crossed the line immediately, but these leaders getting linked up on the outside as the 13 comes down in front of the 0-2. Now the 0-2's turn to push this Matthew Morton's 13 car in the lead.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, those drivers are going to fight for the lead, but everybody else is trying to fight to get up to the lead to have a chance. That third line is in effect. It's on the outside. Matt Nordberg pushing. That's NC State pushing, and big trouble. A squeeze from the 166 right there, and look who's up front. University of North Texas has done it again. They're in position right now on that outside line, but we've seen those pushes, and big trouble back in the pack. Not sure if the caution will come out for that one. Drexel University continuing to try and get their car straightened, but back up at the front. 2 by 2, and a big caution. The 86 is around. We'll see if iRacing or the stewards choose to throw the yellow, but we are racing here. 2 laps to go that time by. Can Virginia and Thomas Toomey in those orange flames up on top. The yellow flag is out. We were going to say, can he push? But the yellow flag was out, and I think that was probably appropriate. This will be our green, white, checkered finish, Jordan. But man, I was just getting excited.
Yeah, everything heating up here up at the front, and Zachary DeWale, the big loser off that restart. He's back down to 4th now. We'll be restarting on that 2nd row. But boy, what a hectic finish we were getting ready for as we had cars spitting down low into the pits. I believe that was Nordberg. Yeah. Oh no, that's the 86 of Timothy Wilms. That was part of that first incident.
That is the 86 right there. Looking like coming through the middle, and I think this was actually, this was actually a lap before. So these drivers were doing a whole lap, but right there looks like, oh, we had already started by the time we got to the yellow flag. But yeah, a little bit tricky right there, and you can see that was when the 86 was already turned around.
And that's the incident that likely brought out the caution. He's moving slowly on track. Yeah, as we see Vrabel in the pits, started second, and just unfortunate for him. But this Drexel car, this is a big incident that started a while back on the exit of 3 and 4. This crash goes all the way through the tri-oval, so let's see what happens on this one.
You can see right here these cars up in the sideway. It looks like actually Arizona State was up in the wall. That was where we thought they had kept it straight. Looked like Andrew Williams was already in there. Oh, and looked like trying to go up. Dylan Godinez involved in that, and that was how they went around. But yeah, that's pretty tricky right there, and not much you can do. I mean, everybody sees that it's going. Nobody sees the yellow, and who wants to lift in that scenario?
Yeah, every position's so important at this point in the race, so everybody's pushing hard as we will have our green-white checkered once we get back to green flag racing. But very good job from Edwin Onofre, the North Texas car, 199 up at the front once again. He's seemingly always found his way to get back up to the lead of this pack.
Yeah, and with a small moment in time here, as we continue to just try and stay abreast of the running order, Jordan, a quick run through your leader right now is that North Texas car, Edwin Onofre. Second place is going to be Matthew Morton, the Ohio State Buckeye. Third place is going to be the pusher of the evening, Virginia's Thomas Toomey, and he is going to have a hand in deciding who gets to victory lane, whether it's somebody else or himself. Fourth place is going to be Zach DeWale. That is the St. Clair College machine that we've seen so much speed and potential out of tonight. In fifth position, Arizona State University's Garrett Vitton will find himself and up to sixth place with a clean car. That's going to be Northeast State Technical Kent Hundley. A second place last week at Rockingham, a sixth place here after all this at Daytona would be brilliant for the big picture points racing, as it were. Jordan finally in seventh position at Connor Levy, the second Sun Devil in this field, and Wingate University's Jake Cummings right there in eighth position. Getting all caught up, that is on track in sequential order. So back, this is the start of some of the lap cars. Spencer Brown here from North Carolina at Charlotte. And then that 22nd position going to be East Tennessee State University Lee Nutter. That's going to be 22nd position for that driver. Back with our running order, we had Ryan Wilson. He's actually got to get caught up to the field here in that 9th position from Minnesota State Mankato. And 10th position going to be Niner Esports with a fresh-looking car. Caught up a little bit early, but making his way back in 10th position would not be the end of the world after their night. North Carolina at Charlotte in 10th position. Clint Halterman. But yeah, back up at the front. Looks like we are getting ready to go, and this will be our green-white checkered.
Yeah, lights off on the pace car. Everybody lined up. DeWale behind Matthew Morton up on the high side, and we've got, once again, Thomas Toomey right in behind Edwin Onofre. Toomey has been a tremendous pusher all evening long, so we'll see at what point will he decide that it's his race to lead, not anybody else's. So wouldn't be too surprising to see him take a step out at one point to find his place up at the front.
No, it wouldn't in these cars. The calm before the storm, as it were. These drivers getting ready to go on board right now with Thomas Toomey and another driver, and this is the mirror that I don't envy right now. Looking back off of your leader, University of North Texas, that is a lot of horsepower that is trying to beat you to victory lane, Jordan.
Yeah, these 900 horsepower machines coming off of 3 and 4 there. Get ready for that pace car to get out of the way. Here we go. Green-white checkered here at Daytona.
Yeah, not a great jump for that 199. That might be okay because, look, he's hooked up with his buddy, that 166. We know Virginia is pushing. I don't know who's in front, but they're getting pushed by that Virginia machine. And so straight away down into turn one, about a car length advantage. And does the 199, does he move up right there? I think he's kind of liking his partner right now. We'll see if he moves up off the corner, Jordan.
Yeah, we'll see if he decides to block. It doesn't look like it, as we have a third lane developing on the outside here. And DeWale looking to lead that one. But he just gets abandoned as he moves up, gets dummied a little bit. The second he steps up, everybody else disappears. They're tight through there. Just barely making it work. DeWale just hung out to dry now on that outside line.
There's got to be something going on that low line because everybody down there now is getting tight, moving up, trying to squeeze through. Oh, Thomas Toomey, Virginia. I don't know if that was the goal. trying to stick a nose in up at the front. The white flag is out. I don't see a yellow yet. It is Arizona State, and I see still the white flag, Jordan. So back up at the front, Arizona State University is racing Wingate University as we speak. And Thomas Toomey there sticking a nose in. Will he do it again? Moving to the outside. Jake Cummings has got him outside. He knows he's got to block and turn. That's the second one. Virginia making no friends on this final lap. The race is still white flagged. These drivers racing to the end. iRacing not throwing the flag. And could Virginia take this one home? It's not over yet, Jordan. Coming to the front, side by side. Down. Was he pushed below the yellow line? Big trouble again. I think it was the 0-2. I think it was St. Clair College. We will have to review. We are being told it is St. Clair College. And so somewhere in all of that, your winner, Zach DeWale, he is trying to get that car turned around. Hopefully he's got enough fenders left for a burnout, but that car is back right way. St. Clair College wins that one, and I don't know, Jordan, if we've got enough cameras and replays to walk through the last 2 laps right there, and Virginia was not taking no for an answer, but in the end, we are being told St. Clair College and the stewards are going to be having a lot of overtime on this one.
Yeah, crazy finish. DeWale finding his way up to the front. Clint Halterman out of nowhere coming into P2 and Thomas Toomey in third. But what an incredible last lap. That white flag staying out, no cautions thrown as we had 2 wrecks all the way up at the front. And so unfortunate for a couple of our drivers. There was a massive collection of cars just as we crossed for that white flag. What a finish. DeWale, just as he was getting squeezed into the wall, seemingly finds a way to get the victory. He'll come up to the line once again and he'll burn it down.
Yeah, and that's your race winner right now, Zach DeWale, who's going to have his chance. And I don't know if he's got any more tire left in that car, just a little bit, for your race-winning burnout tonight.
There he goes, finds a good patch of pavement to lay some rubber down. DeWale celebrates that win, as we see on the timing screen, by just 4/1000th of a second across the line. Clint Halterman missing out by 4/1000ths of a second on that victory.
Yeah, it was, and these drivers are cooling off, and I think we are as well. But we will see here what these drivers what they have. But let's walk through. Let's walk through, Jordan, just those last 2 laps on board with Zach DeWale. Let's see how we got here.
Yeah, let's take a look at this, because this was as hectic as can be.
And this was on that restart coming through. So you're riding on board right now, Zach DeWale. He's trying to get sorted to the outside of that. Yeah, and driving through right now, you can see he's trying to get it sorted as on the outside. He did get to move right there, and then here's a bit of calamity as we come through to the first. So he's on that outside, and man, I don't know, he was in a little bit of a perilous spot right there, but he's able to make it stick, and he comes through. Yeah, no help right here.
Just all alone, and that probably saved him as everyone comes together right in front of him, and just the pocket opens up for him. Oh, look how sideways he was coming out of the tri-oval, just keeping those 4 wheels rolling forward. And boy, he is quite a ways back from this top 3 group. It looked like this could have been it for that Wingate car. And Thomas Toomey up at the front, but
yeah, and this slowed that group down a lot right here. And big move right there. That's not what you want if you're a Sun Devil fan, but here's his opportunity. He knew he had a run on the high side, and he had momentum there because Virginia had stalled out after that incident on the backstretch, and that was all it took. He could go high or low. He chose to go high right here, and right at the line, that was all it took. Man, so close. In contact here, the 166 going down, and tell you what, I think that probably helped
Yes.
the most. And whew, what a finish right there.
Spencer Brown getting underneath the winner there as they cross the line, and everybody's just going to pile in now that the race is over. But oh boy, what a final couple of laps for our leaders. Just incredible to see everybody. DeWale, how sideways he was coming out of the tri-oval to start that white flag lap. Incredible finishes. Everybody's just piling in
A
once
big
the race
trouble
is
right
over.
there on board with Zach DeWale. He's trying to get it sorted out as well. But I think right now, Jordan, if you bring in Jake Cummings, our third place, so a couple of incident points enforced by iRacing. So third place finisher in this one is going to be Jake Cummings.
Jake Cummings, what a finish there right at the end. Nearly had the chance at the victory, and it just fallen apart all at the end. What did you see from from your point of view through all that carnage on that white flag lap?
That was insanity. First off, I'll just say that because I don't even know why I'm here. First off, I think I figured it out, but I'm still not 100% sure. So but yeah, coming to that white flag, I think that wreck happened. I don't know what happened, but I was just focused on the person in front of me, and we both got through it. And me and Garrett were trying to play the team game there, and I guess on that backstretch, I was like, oh yeah, I can just kind of give him a little nudge and we can stay ahead. But I forgot he had a little bit of engine damage from an accident before, and then as soon as I saw Thomas go to our outside, I was like, oh wait, I probably should have just gone around his outside and not been a nice boy there. But then Garrett, I don't know if he was doing it for me or for him or just in general for the good of all of us, but he went to do a block. It wasn't that late, but he got turned because you just can't really touch anyone more than just a little bit without getting absolutely punted. But anyways, it happened, and in order to avoid getting caught in that myself, I had to get on the brakes, which had me drop back to I don't even know sixth or seventh. I have no idea how I ended up fourth at the line, and I also have no idea. Well, I figured out now why I'm in third, but yeah, I don't know how the heck all that happened. I need to look at it again, but it was a very very crazy race. But happy to be in this booth again with you guys.
Yeah, congrats, Jake. And I think we're still piecing together the excitement of the last lap. We did get to tell our viewers that, yeah, I think the incident limits affected a couple drivers up ahead of you, netting you your current finishing position, which I think is P3. And yeah, well earned. And holy cow! So the Gen 4 car. This is the first time that CiL has taken the Gen 4 car to this old bumpy Daytona track. But what was it like to mix it up in this car with these drivers here tonight?
Super difficult, honestly. I probably should have turned my force feedback down. You know, having compared it to the next gens where it feels a little lighter. Those bumps, man, they're killer, especially going into one, and it's really difficult to keep it on the bottom line. I'm sure you guys saw off of two and off of four, so there's a lot of jostling going on because of that. But you got a little used to it, but you had to have some kind of half death grip on the wheel just to make sure you didn't get into anyone and you held your line, which is really difficult to do. Most of my race was kind of boring, to be honest, because I think it was that first incident that I got involved in after the caution had already come out, and I went flying into the air. And I had about 5.5 minutes of damage, and I was just lucky that we got fewer cautions than I thought, but there was just enough for me to get them fixed, get the tires on, get the lucky dog, and be up in a seventh to start that final restart, and then make it through that carnage right before the white flag came out to be in a spot to win. I feel like I probably could have won if I had just, you know, fended for myself a little more. But definitely very happy to be here. And I think the last time we were at Daytona and the next gens as well, back in the spring for this league, I also finished third. but I actually missed that. So I'll count this. I missed the interview for that, so I'll count this as my my redo and my return for that. So all in all, pretty good finish. Just not a whole lot going on to me in that middle bit of the race.
Yeah, that seemed like it. But congrats again. Is there anybody that you want to give a shout out to before we let you go and maybe relax a little bit tonight?
I always tell myself that I'll think of what to say. That's the third time now. But I mean, I guess I want to say I'll thank Garrett. It's hard to work together in these cars just because you can't hardly touch anyone. But we definitely had made an agreement because I had lined up right behind him for that final restart that we would probably try to take it three wide together at some point. But someone else in front of us did it for us, and we kind of just had to fend for ourselves and do what we could. But yeah, I'll thank him for being a good teammate. Well, quote unquote teammate, and yeah, just thank you to you guys as well for putting on another awesome production and league once again.
Thank you for putting on such an awesome race, and congrats again on third place tonight. Wingate University and Jake Cumming. Congrats, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, Jordan, that was man. He was trying to figure out kind of how he moved up there. You saw as they came across the line, a couple drivers reaching their incident point limit here in this one. No surprise there at the end, and so that's how that 007 car ended up in that third place finishing position. Jordan.
Yeah, very hectic at the end, and unfortunate for a couple of those drivers who just barely hit that limit right before crossing that finish line. But now let's bring in our second place finisher and our leading pusher for the night, seemingly Thomas Toomey, our second place finisher here out of the University of Virginia. You were pushing people all the way to that white flag, and then carnage went down. What did you see?
Lots of carnage. And it's unfortunate these cars don't really bump draft very well, so the more aggressive people get in the end, sending blocking, etc. Even if you hit people square, and they're kind of just goes underneath their car, and there's nothing you can do. And coming to a green white checkered, nobody wants to lift very much or give an inch.
No, I didn't think so, and what a race we got to call and keep up with there, especially that last two laps, last lap. I think there was about zero point 0.8 cars that you tried to fit into as those cars were bouncing around across the start finish line. But has anybody shown up at your figurative Featherlight hauler to have some words yet? It seemed like a pretty hot race for you there towards the end.
Probably. I haven't checked. But yeah, I think everyone was pushing at the end. Almost made it work. I think Edwin went onto the apron a little bit, and then the car on the top was just assumed three wide. And yeah, there was lots of damage. But yeah, I'm surprised that didn't cause a caution in itself. But anyway.
Yeah, I think it was well timed there towards the end. We had our white flag out, so iRacing decided to let the crew play. And by the way, I think that was the correct answer to not check any aspiring drivers out there. The correct answer is to not check your phone for a little bit after the race. But yeah, congrats. And is there anybody, Thomas, that you want to give a shout out to before we send you on your way from this one?
Just the CIL for a fun summer league.
Very well. Well, it has been fun for us up here in the booth as well. And so, congratulations on second position to Virginia and to yourself, Thomas, here at a very difficult race at Daytona.
Thank you guys.
And that was second place finisher Jordan, the Virginia Cavalier, Thomas Toomey.
Alrighty, and now it is time for our race winner, Zachary DeWale, the O2 car out of St. Clair College. What a tremendous finish for you out of St. Clair College. The O2 car got very sideways coming out of that tri-oval there. How'd you keep that thing rolling forward?
Got my foot in it. Just I was after coming across the line to take the white, I was just sawing at the wheel like crazy, trying to gather it up and not go head first in the wall and do my best Denny Hamlin impression. But yeah, man, I just kept my foot in it and tried to keep it pointed the right way.
Well, congrats on a very chaotic Daytona win, the third unique winner of yourself and St. Clair College here in our third round here at Daytona. And man, how did your race change as you went from having your pusher and the 075 and well-known teammate to a lot of the confusion and chaos that was kind of that top 10? How did that change your race for you, and how did you get back up there? Because that was not always the case.
Yeah, losing Robbie in the race definitely hurt the game plan. We were we we had the thought that we could just get hooked up and just go. We were talking about felt like in the DEI cars of yesteryear, but yeah, it really shook up the game plan because like you said, I lost my help, so I just tried to be aggressive, but not make anything too aggressive happen. I didn't want to make it 3 wide and cause a wreck and just take myself out of the race again. So it was just making smart moves and trying not to end up in the wall again.
I think that sounds accurate. Congratulations again on man, tough one, but a good win here at Daytona. And is there anybody you want to thank before we turn you loose?
I gotta thank Robbie. He was he. I gotta watch my language. He was pushing the crap out of me for the first 20 or 30 so laps of this thing, and we wouldn't have been able to keep it up front for that long. I don't think. If it weren't for him, he was able to help keep me clear for that. So, thank him obviously, and Emily and Riley, and Emily's dad at home watching. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Congratulations, Zach, on the win tonight. Have a great one.
Thanks, you too, man. Appreciate it.
And that's Zachary DeWale, our winner here at Daytona, crossing the line just 4/1000th of a second ahead of second place there. What a wild finish. But
Yeah, Jordan,
exactly
that
what
was
we expect from Daytona.
a super wild finish. We did expect it here at the end, and really tricky. Let's take a minute to just run through the results here that we've got up, and yeah, very tricky for these drivers here who were trying to navigate up and down the banking, up and down the scoring tower. Everybody trying to come back from that big one that we had part way through, but at the end, it was the St. Clair College driver, Zach DeWale. He got the job done and comes from victory lane tonight. Second place is the University of Virginia and Thomas Toomey. Wingate University's Jake Cummings is there in third place, and that's going to be your podium of a really hard-fought group of guys, talented guys. No surprise to see them up front. Robert Morris University and Tyler Klingensmith. You saw Jordan, those couple cars that were having some trouble earlier, but awesome result for Tyler there from Robert Morris University. North Carolina State University and Matt Nordberg going to bring the top 5 to a close. The Ohio State Buckeye, after all that, Matthew Morton comes home 6th place. 7th place is going to be Andrew Williams and Clemson University. Drexel University's Timothy Wilms in 8th position, followed by the Arizona State Sun Devils, Connor Levy and Garrett Vitton. That will conclude the top 10 here at Daytona. Kent Hundley from Northeast State Technical Community College, he's going to bring it 11th. And Minnesota State Mankato, we talked about him tonight, Ryan Wilson puts that 56 machine in 12th position at the end of this race. University of North Texas, Edwin Onofre, that 13th position after a couple of these drivers had to filter out with their incident points limits. You saw up front Clint Halterman, he did also eclipse that limit and was knocked down to looks like the 14th position for North Carolina at Charlotte. Baruch College made their debut with Edward Sanchez finishing 15th tonight. Dylan Godinez in 16th position. Jason Willott and Drexel University going to be 17th, and the Niner Esports Spencer Brown, he's going to be in 18th position for this one. 19th position will go to Clemson University's Nick Stockner, and the 20th position will be filled by Brad Daniels from Robert Morris University, involved in that early issue in the uniquely colored cow machine. East Tennessee State Buccaneer Lee Nutter qualified quickly, but ended up 21st in this one. Robbie Vrabel Jr. from St. Clair College pushed his teammate to a win, but couldn't have a similar result tonight. And we saw that green machine. New York Binghamton Alex Hallinar in 23rd position. 24th position, Christian Hill of Mount St. Mary's and Clemson University's Andrew Burrell will complete this one in 25th. And man, what an event on that was here tonight, Jordan.
Yeah, an incredible race, and unfortunate for Clint Halterman, who would have been our second place finisher here tonight, just getting that point or the incident point limit just as he crossed that line and sent him tumbling down to 14th. That is so unfortunate for him at right at the end of that race.
Yeah, that's tough, and we've seen a lot of times at Daytona that these drivers will come together and have a fair share of incident points there at the end of the race, and so really tricky for these drivers to figure out that balance there. And you always want to say, anytime you come to a super speedway or a short track, you generally want to save a 4x or two for the last lap. And I tell you what, that was easier said than done tonight for some of these drivers.
Yeah, Thomas Toomey saved a couple of them right right before because he was right there for both of those incidents on that white flag lap. But working out for himself as he gets all the way up to P2 here today. But we'll see what these drivers can do one more time as the Garage Shop CiL Cup Series heads to Darlington in 1 week time. It's going to be a very exciting race to see these Gen 4 cars flying around Darlington.
Yeah, it totally is. Very excited for that. And yeah, if Rockingham and Daytona had excitement, then we should expect the same at Darlington there, Jordan. No difference there. So from Jordan Brooks up here in the booth and myself, next Monday, Darlington. This Wednesday in 2 days, same time, 9 p.m. Eastern, the Toyota GR86 Championship will scratch our itch for some road racing in those fun tin top series. And from all of us here at the Collegiate iRacing League tonight and the Garage Shop College Cup Series, thanks for watching, and we will see you again on Wednesday.